Good morning, everyone. Back with fractions, multiplying fractions. In this case, we're looking for the area now. So we know the formula for area is length times width. An object's length times its width is going to give us our area. So here we have find the area of a garden that is 1 2/3 yards long and 2 3/4 yards wide. At some point, I'll pause the video because I'll show you a second way. First, we're going to use the area model. So in previous videos, I showed you to decompose your fractions. We're going to take our 1. I like to use the first side for the first fraction and 2/3. And we're going to times it by 2 3/4. Using our basic facts, we know that 1 times 2 equals 2. And 1 copy of 3/4 is exactly that, just 3/4. 2/3 times 2 means 2 copies of 2/3, so that'd be 4/3. 4/3. And that gives us that situation where we have an improper fraction, so I need to make sure I put it into a mixed number. So I know that I can pull 3 groups, or I should say 3/3 out of 4/3, which is 1, with 1 left over. So that's 1 1/3. And I'll circle that because that's the one I want to use. And then 2/3 times 3/4, I multiply across. 2 times 3 is 6. 3 times 4 is 12. So now I have to add these up. So I take my 2. I like to do it vertically, like we said. 2 3/4, 1 1/3, and 6/12. Now I have a situation because I don't have a common denominator, and I know from previous videos that I need to have a common denominator. But I also know that 3 and 4 are factors of 12. So I can leave 12 alone. If I want an equivalent fraction, I multiply by a form of 1 whole. So I know 3 times 4 equals 12. So I'll multiply the top and bottom by 4/4, a form of 1 whole, and I would get 4/12. Here, I know that 4 times 3 equals 12, so I multiply by a form of 1 whole using thirds, and I would get 9/12. Well, I clearly don't have to change 6/12, and now they all have a common denominator. So I'll leave my whole numbers alone for a second, and I'll now add up my fractions. Well, I know 6 plus 4 is 10, 10 plus 9 is 19. So I have 19/12. Well, I'm back to that situation, improper fraction. So I know I can remove 12/12 from 19 to give me 1. And then I'd have 19 minus 12 would be 7/12 left over. So I have these fractions equaling 1 7/12. 2 plus 1 equals 3. So I'm going to add it here, and I'm going to have myself, or get an answer of 4 7/12. Now, because I multiplied 2 numbers, it's going to be 4 7/12 squared. And it's going to be yards squared. I'm sorry, let me fix that. Yards squared. So now you just took 1 2/3 yards times 2 3/4 yards, multiplied it for the area, and you got 4 7/12 yards squared. This is your final answer. So now I'll pause the video, and I'll show you a different way using improper fractions on how to get the same result. Okay, so we're changing up now. We have the same exact problem. We're still trying to find the area of a garden that is 1 2/3 yards long and 2 3/4 yards wide. But instead of making an area model and multiplying, then adding, and then getting like terms, we're going to go a little shorter route. We're going to convert both mixed numbers into improper fractions. So I have more than a whole. I know if I'm working in thirds, that 3 times 1 is 3, plus 2 more thirds equals 5/3. What I'm really saying there is that I have 1 whole, which is 3/3, and I'm going to add 2/3 to it. That's 5/3. Here, I have 4 times 2, which is 8, plus 3/4 is 11/4. Or I can say I have 4/4 plus 4/4, giving me 8/4, representing my 2, and then adding 3/4 to that, still giving me 11/4. Now the operation is multiplication. I'm looking for the area, so it's 5/3 times 11/4. I can rewrite that right here. And what happens? I multiply across, giving me 55/12. Now I have a larger improper fraction, so I need to know my multiplication tables. I can divide. 4 times 12 is 48. So I know that would give me 4 wholes. I would take 48 from 55, and that would be 7. And I still get 4 and 7 12 yards squared. I don't like the way that looks, but that is the correct answer. If you go back to the video in the beginning, you'll see 4 and 7 12 yards is our answer for the area of a garden. I hope this video helps. The purpose of the video is to go back, watch it more than one time. And if you have any questions, please email me and I can change the video or give you a different example. Have a great day, everyone.